What's going on, people? Good morning. Welcome to Transfer View, your latest Manchester United news, your latest Manchester United therapy, your latest Manchester United goings-ons, group discussions, laughs, rejoicing, 3 points, we're back, show.
Look at you. You're positive.
Sorry, I've got loads of echoes in my ear. Hold
shining.
on, I need to... I can hear you now. Sorry.
There we go. Yeah, you got. It's a nice positive breakfast show this morning. I'm still reeling from what we were just watching. That was it live and kicking?
Live and kicking. Had to show Owen about live and kicking settings because he's too young. Didn't know what it was. Man like Andy Peters back in the day.
He started singing or humming a theme tune, and I went, yeah. And then I still went, I have no idea what he's talking about. And then you thought I was trolling. I'm not trolling. Live and kicking. I didn't know what it was. I don't know what it was. I still don't really know what it was. I've just watched a video that said 1994. And I don't know. I don't know what it was. I don't know what we're talking about.
And now you know. Everyone, you know what? Before we start the transfer view and get into it, because we've got a lot to talk about, it's just nice to have 3 points. I think we should just have a moment to smile. And that's a bit weird because I'm suggesting that we go into silence and just smile at the camera. I'm not. Like, can we all have a moment and just smile? I didn't mean it like that.
People just tuned into that. They're thinking, what have I tuned into?
No, because Owen, like, what it is we've all been part of this. Like, I know it was only 2 games, and other fans from our clubs say it was only 2 games, like, or whatever. Like, just the mudded effect was just on us from last season.
Yeah.
Like, and it just hurt. Them first 2 games, you literally looked and couldn't see where the next win was coming from. So it's Wednesday morning, and we've got 3 points. So let's just smile, because we're going to get into transfers and things that might make us, annoyed again or whatever. But let's just remember we've got 3 points, and the boys put in a good performance. The closer we get to Southampton, the less we talk about it.
Yeah.
But it's my first live social since doing that. I just wanted to be...
You want to bask in that glow.
Yeah.
Bask in that glory. You want to just enjoy it. Enjoy the 3 points, because you know that feeling might vanish very quickly. So make the most of it right now.
Well, didn't mean exactly like that, Owen.
You meant exactly like that.
Yeah, but I didn't
Let's be real.
Didn't want you to actually say it.
Let's be real.
But we have a lot to get into. We are going to be talking about Ronaldo being a squad rotation player. We're going to talk about Harry Maguire not going anywhere, just because obviously he's been dropped. Obviously, all of the talk about him, wanting to leave maybe or stuff like that. We're going to be talking about Frenkie de Jong as well. I'll leave it there. Yeah. And plenty more. What we got first?
Rotation Ronaldo is what we've got first. Now, this comes from The Athletic, from Laurie Whitwell this morning, expanding a little bit about Cristiano Ronaldo's role at Manchester United this season, what he can expect under Erik ten Hag, and how that could lead into a possible departure from Manchester United. The Ronaldo saga will be ongoing until that transfer window closes, clearly. But Laurie Whitwell House reported, as far as Erik ten Hag is concerned, either Cristiano Ronaldo accepts being rotated and cracks on, or a new club needs to be found. Ten Hag still wants an attacker regardless, probably 2 if Ronaldo leaves this summer. So rotation Ronaldo, we saw him on the bench on Monday. We saw him come on 85 minutes. Is that what Cristiano Ronaldo has to now accept at Manchester United this season? And I'm saying, like, if he's going to stay, it's not really his choice. It's if a club comes in or not, right? So, and this is quite surprising to me, because we were chatting earlier on that if you said to Ronaldo, I think certainly, if you said to Ronaldo right now, a rotation or you leave, he would go, well, I wanted to leave anyway. I wanted, that's what I wanted to do. I've gone on record. I want to leave Manchester United this season. So the idea of giving him an ultimatum of, look, you've got to be a rotation option or you're going to be leaving, he'd be like, okay, fine. I'll still go. So do you think he settles for that?
No, of course not. And he hasn't settled for it, has he, really? Because I know some people who, are still on the defending the thing of, like, well, he's never come out and said that he wants to leave, so where did he say this?
Yeah.
That's fine. There's different ways to choose to be, on this train, or how you want to see it.
Yeah.
But he already made it, in my opinion anyway, I think he already made his mind up that he didn't want to be here, in terms of we're not competing at the top, we ain't got Champions League. Forget, like, the bit of you're not even going to be the main striker. It's, I know I'm the main striker, but I don't want to be here because we're not going to be playing at the top. Now, what we've seen is Erik ten Hag, again, has set his stall out where he's not scared. He's not scared to make big decisions. He's not scared to let people know that he's not happy by showing it by team selection. He's not afraid to drop players. And he's done it in the two biggest forms of, and in a weird way, I'm going to say our two most untouchable players. Yeah. If you think about it, because not that I agree that Harry Maguire has that much status and that much protection, but he's been seen as undroppable because at the times of when we want him to not be in the squad or a different partnership, he always seems to, right through to some cocky, interviews where you can just tell he's a bit sure he knows he's playing every game sort of thing. But the Ronaldo situation is he would look at that game and say, well, you know what, in the Liverpool game, I'm ahead of Martial fitness-wise. Because I'm only just coming back myself and I just played 90 minutes against Brentford. I'm part of the ones where...
Not only does he bring him on, does Martial come on at half-time, but also Ronaldo comes on really late to see the game out, just to give it a little bit of fresh legs. Oh, hopefully we'll get some fresh legs in, and Ronaldo can help us see it out. So, again, I do find it somewhat humorous, the idea of giving him that ultimatum is going to be, well, Ronaldo, yeah, okay, I'm going to stay. That's going to force me. No, Ronaldo wants to leave. He's always wanted to leave this summer. So I don't see that ultimatum really changing things. The thing is with Ronaldo, it's the same issue that it was weeks ago, is that what club is going to get him? What options are there? There aren't many. It felt like, was it last week? Borussia Dortmund was the last option. That coming up this week, what's the next option? Unless one of these clubs that were possibly pursuing him earlier on in the window, unless that changes things, I don't know. Chelsea look like they're going to get Aubameyang, so they've got their striker. Again, Dortmund's off the table. Atletico Madrid looks off the table. I mean, Sporting Lisbon on a loan? I don't know. I don't know. And that's the thing. I think maybe Ten Hag saying, look, you're going to stay because there aren't the options available. And two, you're just going to have to get on with it. And again, I don't know how Ronaldo reacts to that. We saw the clips of him, I don't know if you saw this, of him on the bench when Sancho scored the first one, and he's up and he's applauding and he's happy and he was applauding his teammates. So, and the idea that him being like this miserable influence, I think is ridiculous. But at the same time, it's again, that saga is going to continue until the end of the window, I think.
Yeah, I think it will. He's definitely not going to... Ronaldo will now, I think even more so, again, in my opinion, push even harder and get onto George Mendes even more to saying, listen, you've got 8 days to find me a club, or we've got 8 days to get our move, as, when it's agent and player. They're like a team, aren't they? Because it is one thing Ronaldo saying the club's got no ambition and I want to leave because I want to, compete at the top. I definitely ain't staying in a team that I see as not ambitious as a second striker, a third striker. It went Rashford, Martial, and then Thingy came on. And I know that, look, a lot of it was to do with the game because that is what is interesting about this. We'll see when we get to Southampton exactly what happens. I don't see a way of which Martial does not start against Southampton. No. I can't see that already. So that's already a big problem for Ronaldo on a personal, for his ego and for where he wants to be. But if you deep it, he's now finding himself as not even the starting striker, let alone being at the team where he deems is not good enough to match his valuation, to match his expectations. And not only that, but he's with a manager who doesn't give a shit. I know it's early doors, but I get that feeling. Unless we see Ronaldo just start against Southampton and Erik ten Hag pulls out a masterclass because he's like, you know what? That's what I said. Anyone can start. It's not all favourites. I brought Ronaldo in because I thought it would be the right thing. And Ronaldo scored 2 and it was all great. But I can't see that happening with how fluid and how good Martial was when he came on. And it was almost like Erik ten Hag wanted to get back to what his pre-season front three was as soon as he was able to. Yeah. I.e., Martial can only give me 45 no matter whether we're 2-0 down or 2-0 up. At halftime, he's coming on. Yeah. And yeah, I just think Ronaldo will look at it and be like, you know what? I've got to get this move.
Yeah, I know, I agree. And it was so surprising. That team news was so surprising on Monday, wasn't it? Because there was like 4 different rounds of this. Obviously, we'd heard about Maguire possibly being dropped several days before. And then earlier on in the day, we heard, Ronaldo's going to be dropped and Martial's going to start. Then about a couple of hours before kickoff, we saw this leaked team come out and it was massively wrong. The leaked team was wrong. Because the assumption was, if Ronaldo's dropped, that means Martial's starting. And that wasn't the case. They were both on the bench. Rashford starts. And I suppose the big conversation has to be then, was that just game specific? I.e., was that just Ten Hag going, look, we need pace up front. We need people
because it was
to
the
press
best way to hurt
in
Liverpool
this game. But against a Southampton, against a Leicester, that's where you're going to start because we might not need that as much. I don't know. I don't know.
It's a fascinating question because I do think Ten Hag will be big on different horses for different courses. But at the same time, football's about confidence. And most of all, it's about results. And especially in a team that's been so broken, we need that togetherness and we need to start building something that is recognisable as mainly our starting team. Of course, when you hit one of the other teams in the Big Six, Man City away, you might change it and you might bring in a McTominay for a bit more steel in that one game, or you might go with a Fred because it's been Casemiro and Eriksen for so long, but you just make a little tweak. And those little things can happen. The odd game, you might go 5 at the back and bring in Maguire alongside Varane and Martinez. I don't know, but little things. But most, like 80 to 85% of the games, we need to start building, and Ten Hag needs to do it too, needs to start building up this is my nucleus. This is pretty much barring one or two, like Alanga came in because we needed a bit more pace. And, but barring that, I see him trying to build his starting 11. And when I look at it like that, after having 2 poor performances, I think it would send out a wrong message if he even changed the team. Apart from Alanga for Martial, it's the only change I would actually make. And you could look at maybe could Casemiro come in for Scott McTominay. Yeah. But even that, I think he's going to start training on Thursday. First game in the Prem, might have him on the bench, bring him on. You can't really judge a manager when it's their first game. Yeah. You're like, okay, just let the manager see where they're at fitness-wise. Obviously,
if Ronaldo's going to be a rotation option, and we know that he doesn't want to play in the Europa League, but he's going to be playing the majority of the Europa League
Imagine
games.
The irony of that.
He's the Europa League option.
I mean, that's an amazing option for us to be able to have.
But you know what I mean?
But he ain't having that.
Because if he's a rotation option, if you're saying Martial is going to be playing the more important games, the bigger games, i.e. the Premier League games, then that means a rotation option. That means Ronaldo is going to be playing on the Thursdays, and obviously not playing on the Sunday, which is just wild when you think about the career of Cristiano Ronaldo. And not to say that's the wrong choice right now. I mentioned it yesterday that those players that were on the bench, I do think they struggled to get back in the side for those big matches or to be those regular starters. People like Maguire, Shaw and Ronaldo, of course, they'll continue to play games this season. I don't see a Manchester United which plays near enough the same team every single game. But those players, the Maguire, Shaw and Ronaldos, they're clearly not the first choice anymore.
No, they're not. It's for them players to understand, and we'll get on to Harry Maguire in a bit, so we won't talk too much about that. But it's for those players to understand, but somebody like Ronaldo doesn't understand that thing. That's not his language. Like, I know you can say you're a team, fall in line, no player's bigger than the club. Absolutely. And look, it's good that Ten Hag's choosing who he sees fit to play, or who he sees right to play. I don't mind that Ronaldo is or isn't starting. I just want the team to win and to play well.
Yeah.
But put it this way, Luke Shaw has got more chance of accepting that and trying to win his place back than Ronaldo does.
Yeah.
Because Ronaldo's like, I don't want to be here I don't think he wants to be here. You have to be careful when you say it, because there's a lot of people who say, when did he ever say it?
Yeah, well, Ten Hag and all of these interviews is saying that's not what he's telling us. That's not what he's telling us. And hopefully, again, he's going to do that interview soon, right? He's going to do that interview soon in a couple of weeks. If is still a thing, he's going to do that, and Ronaldo might speak the truth. I don't know. It's all very messy, isn't it? It's all very messy and odd and feels off. I don't really know how to describe the Cristiano Ronaldo situation at the moment, to be honest with you. I think it's strange. He's got a player that wants to leave. You've got no real clubs that are pursuing him. You've got a manager that's indifferent on it. I think if Ronaldo left tomorrow, I don't think Erik ten Hag would be hugely bothered. Of course, he said that he's in his plans, and I'm sure that he still is, but he's not Ten Hag's first choice. And as the report mentions, if Ronaldo does go, he'll go, okay, I want 2 more attackers to come in. So it's an odd situation, and I think that it's going to continue to be an elephant in the room all season, to be honest. But today, with however many days after the transfer window, I just really don't know if I see Ronaldo leaving, to be honest with you.
You don't?
Yeah.
You don't see him leaving?
To where?
I think something will pop up, like where we go, I didn't see that coming.
We're talking sort of just desperate level settings where it's literally just, okay, Sporting take him on loan, they pay 10% of his wages.
Something, yeah. I just see
Because now it's getting to the point, it's not even about playing Champions League football, it's about playing.
Yeah.
Just in general.
Yeah. No, it is. It is. And that's why I think something will get plucked out the bag. Something like there's that. I'm not even going to do the unfair thing to Ronaldo of like, oh yeah, when they try and zoom in on him, hoping that he's miserable because we scored and he was that's fine.
He was celebrating the goals.
Yeah, I don't care about that. But even that's not enough to convince me to say, see, he is part of the team. He is happy being second/third choice striker. He's all right.
Yeah,
we know Ronaldo. Let's not kid ourselves.
Yeah.
Like, and if he does stay, I do think it will be because they just couldn't find a match, in that time. But I will be massively, massively surprised if that was to happen. I really, really would. I think we're just going to do a BRB. We're just going to do a B right back. Everything's on, but it's just a little bit glitchy. So Josh is just going to come in with the graphic, I believe, and we'll try and get that sorted for you guys because it's not a massive, massive problem, but we want to try and get it best we can. So Josh, take us out. Back in 2 seconds. Where was we? We was so to finish off on Ronaldo. I just feel like he's gonna want to angle for a move. He's gonna want to push for that move. He can't play second fiddle for too long. If he stays, it'd be interesting to see how Ten Hag manages it, how much starts he does get. Because let's face it, with Martial playing like that, bro, I don't see how any other person starts up front. If he's going to keep knitting to play together like that and being, involved in the build-up, how he was, even in 45 minutes against Liverpool. What a cameo that was, by the way.
Yeah, he was brilliant.
I don't see how you change it.
Yeah, I also, like I said, it's become... The issue before was lack of ambition, lack of Champions League football. Now it's become an issue of lack of football in general, just for him, There is a World Cup. It's not a case of Ronaldo's not going to play. He's not going to play in the World Cup. He's going to be picked for the World Cup. Clearly, he's Cristiano effing Ronaldo. But he has to build up match fitness. He has to play games going into that World Cup, especially at his age.
Yeah.
So he'll be thinking like, I can't sit on the bench.
No. And I've never done it my whole career.
I need to play.
Apart from when I was an 18-year-old at Man United, just about to get through.
I need to play. So maybe you're right. Maybe he will find that move will be found because it's a case of I need to play. But yeah, I don't see how many. He will play games for United, but
of course he will.
But it's
not going to be a lot.
But not those. Yeah, not games like Monday.
And basically, it might not be a lot. It won't be a lot of starts because if you look at what happened against Liverpool, Martial started up front, and then as the team kind of started changing, I think Bruno went out to the right at one stage. Then another change when Ronaldo came on, he went up front. Then Martial went out to the right. That little bit of fluid, kind of play. But that I only think starts happening once it gets to latter stages of games or we're winning games or you're trying to influence something. By and large, he wants his team to play how it played with Martial in it from the start, I think.
Well, also as well, Nessie, who's a member of the UV Members Club, says, so what happens when Martial gets injured again? Then what? My response to that would be Rashford, because that's what Ten Hag did on Monday. And I think that was even more damning. Rashford started up front.
That's true. That's true. Because
Again,
he wanted pace.
The assumption was, Ronaldo's dropped to the bench. So everyone went, well, Martial's starting then, clearly. But it wasn't. He went with Rashford.
Yeah. I do think that was a lot to do with playing
And
Liverpool.
that might be opponent specific.
It was, yeah.
But still, if you're Ronaldo, you'd go...
Don't care. I've played against all the opponents in the world. I'm Ronaldo.
Ronaldo. But remember when Carrick was in interim charge last year and we played Chelsea? He did the same thing. Yeah. He went, I tell you what, we need a bit of pace in this game. And I don't think Ronaldo... Yeah. I don't think you can do that. And those are the big games. They're the games that Ronaldo wants to be playing in.
Yeah.
What would Ronaldo prefer to play? Southampton away or Liverpool at home?
So it's just, if there was ever a rhetorical question, it would be that. Smash a like on the video, guys. I'm going to need your help on this, Owen, because my stream kind of did a bit of a madness. I haven't got all the super chats.
Yes.
Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Before we go on to our second topic, big up to all you guys in the chat and staying with us. Owen, what's the super chats? What have we got?
Ray Diaz says, have you confirmed Eric Ten Hag ran the 13K? Did you see that?
I did see that. We can't confirm it. I don't know.
We didn't run it.
I didn't run it. I wasn't there. All I know is what you guys know and saw and can see from reports, and that is the fact that it is reported that Eric Ten Hag did do that. And if he did do that, could look at it two ways. You could say, wow, that's really inspiring. That at least, especially early in his reign, shows that he's willing to go to the trenches with the players.
Yeah.
Or you could look at it like, why do that? They're the ones you didn't run.
I look at it as, right, and it was multiple outlets reported it. It wasn't just, I think the Mirror reported it, but it was also The Athletic. I believe Laurie Whitwell reported it as well. So you got multiple outlets saying similar things there. I looked at it as him saying to punishing the players as they deserve to be punished. You didn't run enough, but also shouldering the blame himself, going, but I'm still the manager. The buck stops with me. We are in this together. I'm not above you. Yeah, I'm the manager. I picked the team, but I'm punishing myself. I'm doing, what's the phrase? I would never ask you to do something I wouldn't do myself.
Yeah.
And that's what he basically did there.
Yeah.
And how old is he? 52?
Yeah.
Something like that?
Wonder how long it took him to run 13.8k. Do you think he was last?
I'd still be running it now.
With the effort that they put in against Brentford, I don't think he was last. I think there would have been someone slower than him.
You reckon?
Yeah.
Can you imagine if there was someone in the playing squad?
Nah, there wouldn't be.
Oh.
But do you think at the end, like, because Eric hadn't finished yet, do you think they like gathered round and went, "Come on, Eric, keep going. Like,
do you reckon?
Come on, you can finish it. Come on."
Nothing worse than pre-season training doing shuttles and stuff like that. I remember.
Or do you think he just kept up?
I remember I had to do them once, and the drill was there were cones, and they were like, I think they were like 100, like 10 yards apart or something like that, and you go 10 back.
Yeah.
10 back, 20 back.
Yeah.
10 back, 20 back, 30 back. You do it like that.
Yeah. Build up.
And I didn't come last when I did it. And I was like, I tell you what, I'll take that. But
Keepers shouldn't be getting over players.
Exactly. But the player that finished behind me was asthmatic. That's why. So I was, that's why basically. So
he had an ailment and
I was still, yeah. And the thing is, I was really happy. I was like, yeah, wasn't last. And then I saw him give it like that. I was like, I need to probably get on that treadmill.
Blue or brown inhaler?
Probably both.
Yeah. I used to have the one that you put the little tablet in and then you kind of inhale it and the powder comes out of it. I used to be asthmatic when I was younger. That's crazy.
That is crazy.
That's a nice story.
Yeah.
Carry on. Well, it's not really a nice story.
No, it's not fair. Or me.
But you get what I mean, yeah.
Bice says, Owen and Flex slowly replacing Owen and DJ. What happened to that? Whatever happened to that duo, man?
Owen and DJ?
No, Flex and DJ.
Oh, right.
Owen and Flex, remember, slowly replacing Owen and DJ. What happened to
Yeah.
that duo? You know what it is? It's because we broke the curse.
Oh, my God, yeah. And that was the first win at UVHQ as well. And I weren't here.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to be here in the weekend
It only
as well.
took, what, a year?
But really, we could say it's to do with KG being in the country.
Well, you know what, I was going to say this.
Because I'm
but
pissed at this. No one's bringing it up.
I don't like to bring up, when I bring up his name, I get accused of bullying.
All right,
of
I'll bring it up.
No, but I'll do it. Since you brought it up, right? Since you do it. Obviously, glitches this morning. It just so happens KG's back in the country.
Oh, is he back now? Is he?
Yeah. He's on set this morning.
Is he?
He was in the comments earlier on.
Was he?
Yeah.
He's back.
Yeah.
I told him stay there.
And that's why things weren't working this morning.
Shit. And you know what I don't like? We're going way off topic again. Sorry,
Who
but it's going to
cares?
be really quick. I just don't like it. Everyone has had so much energy for me. Oh, Flex, don't touch the goalpost. Oh, Flex, don't make predictions. Oh, Flex, don't do this. Oh, Flex, don't do that.
Well, that's me.
We've just... Yeah.
You're talking about me?
You. And no, and you lot at home. You lot all say it. I get loads of messages saying, oh, yeah, well done, didn't touch goalpost. Soon as this guy goes to Mexico, does up narcos settings, bro, we're getting Casemiro. We're flipping. They're talking about making double, triple signings.
Get rid of the owners.
The owners march. We win. So let's get it. Let's not get it twisted here. We can see what the real jinx is. Anyway, super chats, and then we move on to the second.
I love you, Drew says, you think Alanga loan move to Ajax is good for both?
Who?
You think Alanga loan move to Ajax is good for both? I thought he played well.
He did play well. Yeah, if he gets his opportunities here and there. Well, if we did sign Cody Gakpo and Anthony, Alanga's he's in trouble a bit.
A lot of Anthony's at the club.
A lot of Anthony's. A lot.
Martial, Alanga, Anthony.
He's just Anthony
as
well. Yeah, but
I don't see it.
I don't see it.
There's no reports, is there?
I
Shubham says Martial centre forward, Anthony Sancho right wing, Rashi Hakpo left wing. Positive. Yeah. Shubham says Maguire, Shaw, Scott, Alanga can play in cup games.
Maguire, Shaw, Scott, Alanga. Yeah, okay.
And ironically, Anthony says you found a solution. Maguire should be in the under-21s like next Jones. Why on earth would you consider him as rotation option when you see A plus VE? No, don't see the end of that one.
No,
but basically, you
That
find
was
a
one of his
solution.
rotation.
Maguire, yeah. And Game Fanatic says, imagine CR7 leaves and versus us in Europa after Jan. Could you imagine that? If he went to Sporting, they making it through the group stage of the Champions
Probably
League?
not.
Probably
Then
not.
face us in. I'd be confident.
And Bai says, we need that scouting report and comps watch for Hakpo. The scout, I guess, it's actually a true story. I said they're obviously different people, but the scout was also out in Mexico. I don't know if you know this.
Yeah, I
He
did.
was doing some scouting reports. Yeah.
Got to look at the latest in talent over that side of the world.
Yeah. So, but they're different people.
Yes.
And Francis says, there are many clubs who will take CR7 when he is a free transfer. He's too much of a sports personality for no club to want him. 1st of September, he is gone. Basically saying, if we were to rip up the contract.
Yeah, if we rip up the contract.
Maybe
then,
that force. Well, he's got to go somewhere. He's not just their free agent.
No.
Until the World Cup, whatever. Yeah. And Anthony says, Maguire is still running. 2K left. Lil Yo-Yo says, KG back in the country. Reports equal De Jong not coming.
Yeah. We'll get to that. I forgot about that one as well.
Yeah. And Marcel's Porridge says, the amount of running, no wonder his suit doesn't fit him anymore. Simon Jordan is a turd.
Yeah. Simon Jordan's an idiot. He's like, well, because he's basically bald, he's white, and he's Dutch. I really thought he'd be like Yap Stam. Shut up.
What?
No, because he never said that. That's basically what he said.
Oh.
Because he was like, he's just not what I expected to be. He's in there in a suit that didn't fit him, and I look at Yap Stam. I thought it'd be like that.
I saw him saying, yeah, he looks like a small guy in a suit, and it's not the job for him.
Yeah, but then he went on to say like Yap Stam, like, I thought it'd be a bit more like Yap Stam,
right?
Because he's bald and he's Dutch and he's white.
But like I saw,
idiot.
I think I want to say it might have been Wan from We Talk Ajax, and he said, you know what? It's funny because people said the exact same thing when he was the Ajax manager, going, yeah, he just looks a bit awkward because he is a bit awkward. And when you watch the interviews, not just because of the sort of the language, but sometimes he's an awkward guy.
Yeah.
I resonate with it. Yeah. I'm like, absolutely.
Yeah. I said that on the tour, didn't I? I said he has this thing where it's like, oh, shit, Eric's here a bit.
He's a bit like,
Yeah, he's a bit standoffish,
a bit rigid.
But it's like we've needed someone. We don't need the personality can come later on. Just get these players into shape. And you know what's interesting? Because he touched on it, and I did hear the same thing. Now he's kind of said it. May as well just kind of elaborate on it a bit. He said that I know I've heard from some inside football people that the interviews that he's been doing, it seems a bit dull and that. And I was told that last week that. Some people have done some interviews with him and they were like, don't really feel it from him. Yeah. But what was interesting is to see how he was after the game.
Yeah.
When he was talking to the big man them, he was talking to Carragher, he was talking to Neville and Keane and dissecting what he'd done. And people were like, I like the way he spoke and what he said, you can get up for it against Liverpool, but can you do it next week? And, it's about attitude. He looked all right then. So I don't know. Simon Jordan's just trying to pick on him. And like I said, as long as he manages to get a response from his team, like he just did, couldn't give a shit.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. For those that were saying, interviews, it might be a bit dull, it's a bit boring, who gives a shit? It's not his job to give interviews. It's his job to win football matches.
Exactly.
And PS says, do a PSV Rangers stream for Gakpo tonight.
Do you know what? On that, just really quickly, we won't be doing one here, but in and around that time, join me and Alexis on Complex's Kicking It show that we do every week. My boy Alexis.
Is that on Twitch?
From New York. That is on Twitch. And we will be doing a watch along with some Gakpo watch.
Yes.
Hakpo watch.
Yes. That was good.
Is that all right?
That was good.
Yeah.
You really got into that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good.
So go for it.
That's also Super Chats.
Right, let's go. Let's move on. What we got?
Next topic. And be sure to smash a like on the like button, by the way. Over 2K watching. We can get to 500. Easy.
Love that.
Harry Maguire. Fabrizio Romano has tweeted this morning saying no negotiations, easy for me to say, ongoing between Manchester United and Chelsea for Harry Maguire. He's expected to stay at Manchester United and fight for his place. No different plans on the club side too, as Chelsea focus on their pursuit of Wesley Fofana from Leicester. So a bizarre story, really, the whole Maguire-Chelsea pursuit, the inquiry, and all that kind of stuff. Maguire, from the beginning of the window to now, is not going anywhere, clearly. What you could say is that his role in the starting 11 as the guaranteed first-team starter, that seemingly is under somewhat threat. But I think Maguire would know in the back of his mind, one, I still will play games this season, and two, he's just waiting for Varane to get injured.
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
Yeah. Which would be really interesting.
He did some comments about it yesterday. I don't know if you saw that,
Yeah,
Varane.
because he said, because I've had 2 games kind of not playing, or I only played half. I've had more time to get good. I feel good. Anyway, I'm not talking about that because he's my Rolls Royce. You lot all laughed at me. Yeah, but anyway, that's all I'm saying. I want to wait till at least like 10 straight games or something like that. I'm just, anyway, let's leave that. Let's part of that. But what is interesting about what you just said there is that even if Varane did get injured, we're in a position where we want to. Lindelof will suit this perfectly. You know,
Sound like Marcel then.
I wasn't even trying to. Oh, I actually wasn't that time. Lindelof could suit this system perfectly, and it'll be interesting to see what Erik ten Hag would do in that situation. Would he go with stylistics, and would he go with, okay, it's time to give Harry a chance now? I'm not sure. I'm not sure about this, and I know it's early and there's a lot of games. So Harry Maguire will play games because, one, we know that when it starts getting to Thursday, Sunday and stuff like that, you ain't playing Varane like that. You ain't. Yeah. But the question is, would he play Lindelof instead? And Harry Maguire is actually the third choice because obviously Eric Bailly's going to go out. So there's a lot of games for him to be played there. But how long will he keep it like this? Would he just change it back again at Southampton and manage Varane? I don't know. I don't see how he does, or I don't see why he would. But there's a little bit of an unknown there until we get to Southampton and see that starting lineup. And I'm predicting from now that there's only one change.
Martial in.
Yeah, I don't think Casemiro starts.
I think he does.
Do you? Okay.
He's played games. He had a full pre-season with Real Madrid. Man of the match in the Super Cup.
Yeah. Hope he does.
If he's, you would think they'll be in training today. He should be training today.
Yeah,
we haven't had the official announcement of holding up the shirt.
Exactly, and his work permit, like he can't actually, might not be able to get involved. I think hear from someone that he can,
though, because it has to be by Friday.
Yeah, but it could be registered easily. Yeah, it could be registered.
I'd say go for it, Eric.
Yeah, why not? Well, anyway, 2 changes max. Anyway, I don't think one of them is Maguire coming in.
No, if he changed the back 4 and he wasn't forced to do it through injury, I would be quite frustrated with that, to be honest. Not that I'm going to be like, going on at Eric or anything like that, but I would be a little bit like, that back 4 has to be the back 4 for Man. That is our best back 4. And I know it's one game, but there was balance to it. There was aggression to it. There was running involved in it. Look, I know Liverpool, ton of injuries. I know it's not the best Liverpool side, but they still went up against really good attackers. They still went up against Salah. They still went up against Diaz. They still went up against Firmino. And I thought the back 4 handled it excellently.
You've got to leave it the same.
And that is the first time as well, Martinez and Varane, I actually saw a thing. I went, that's a partnership.
Absolutely.
They were doing slide tackles, making sure the ball didn't go past them. They're fist bumping each other, going,
And you look at this, if you want to look at it tactically, if you say you want to bring a bit more height because you're going to play again, even if you wanted to, Che Adams is quick along the ground. He's not a striker that is going to dominate you.
I forgot
in
about
the
this.
air.
Talk about a team that compress.
What?
Southampton.
Yeah, exactly. They can get out. They are very indifferent. Like, you'd never know what you're going to get. But when they're on it, they can put you under pressure. And like you said, Che Adams, very, very mobile striker, quite sharp. Kind of like a Danny Ings, like a Watkins, in that mold of it. They are at you.
Yeah.
Perfect for Martinez and Martinez. You'd think Martinez and Varane.
There's a lot of this at the moment.
There is, because you have to, because it's still one game and we're not getting carried away. But against Che Adams, I'm saying I want I want the quick players. I want the mobile players. It's similar to what we just did. Even though Bobby Firmino is not Che Adams. So yes, but away from that, on Harry Maguire, here's the thing. Harry Maguire is not going anywhere, in my opinion. I agree with what's been coming out. I didn't expect him to, after being dropped for one game. Is this the start of Erik ten Hag trying to phase him out? Not necessarily out of the club, but out of the starting lineup. Could be. Have to wait to get a bigger sample size to really make that. I think that's unfair.
Yeah.
In defence of Harry Maguire. Not in defence of I think he should be playing, but in defence of the situation. We don't know yet. We want to think that it is. But we need the games to pass to say, well, he hasn't started any of the last 5.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And then he started the EFL Cup, round 3.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean. So there's that. But also, again, Maguire knows. Maguire's one of the untouchables in the England squad.
That's what I mean. He's still going World Cup, isn't he?
Maguire is definitely. If Maguire didn't play from now all the way up till November till they break to go away, or October, whenever they break to go away, even if he didn't play one game, which ain't going to happen. He would still start for England because Gareth Southgate is his guy. He defended him last time when he was going through a rough patch, and throughout his whole international career with England, he's been spot on. So that's his guy. There's certain non-negotiables in that England team. Harry Maguire is one of them. Harry Kane is one of them. Jordan Pickford is one of them.
Is he?
Well, up until now he has been, because even last year Dean Henderson done all right, couldn't get a sniff.
You look at all of
Nick Pope's always been doing all right.
Other keepers, they're all playing in sort of better performance.
Yeah, well, he was in a relegation battle last year. He was the keeper the whole year.
Ramsdale, Henderson, Pope.
100%. I agree. But even last year, Everton were the shittest out of all those teams, and he was still comfortably the keeper. You know what I mean? But yeah. So Harry Maguire goes. So he doesn't have that worry of, obviously he wants to be rhythm and be fit and stuff, but he doesn't have that worry. I just think if it gets to the summer and he's like, I only made 15 starts this year, he's got something to look at.
No, I agree, and maybe his stock diminishes in Manchester United as well.
Absolutely,
yeah,
absolutely. So we'll see how that goes. I think I think it's clear he's going nowhere, and we can't just after one game just like, right, let's sell him now quickly. It's got to be, the rebuild's got to be done slowly. I was saying this yesterday in on the spaces that I was in on Football Daily, and a lot of people were touching on it, and it was like, even the same like with McTominay, they were like, oh, that's it now, we've got Casemiro, because there was links with West Ham with McTominay. I don't think we should let McTominay go. I honestly, not on loan. We've only just got Casemiro, and not that I want him to play, but his role should be coming off the bench for 10 minutes, 15 minutes.
Europa League.
We've got a lot of games this year. You can't just go, we've got Casemiro, so now Casemiro has to play all the games, because he might not. Well, he probably won't.
Yeah.
And then you get to January and then you get a different midfielder. If we can get another midfielder now instead of McTominay, cool.
Yeah.
But it's got to be done slowly, the rebuild. Do you know what I mean? You can't just get rid of all the players. We will need McTominay at some point.
Yeah. Well, speaking of midfielders that we won't get, should we move on?
Go for it.
Frenkie de Jong. The pursuit of Frenkie de Jong is considered done, according to Laurie Whitwell from The Athletic. Casemiro is seen as an alternative, especially given the cost. When it comes to outgoings, Manchester United are looking for at least 40 million for James Garner. Teams such as Southampton, Forest and Everton are all interested. Can we put a button in the Frenkie de Jong thing? Please.
Yeah.
I'm so tired of it. I really am. I can't remember if this was on the air or not, but when we were talking, it might have been last week, and we were talking about, they might make a final push for Frenkie de Jong. I'm like, please. No, we're not. We might, and we can live out in hope. It's not happening.
No.
It's not happening now.
It's not.
With however many days left it is. 7 days left?
8 days.
8, whatever. With all of this time left, the idea, you're going to put one more push. We've been pushing for 3 months. Come on. It's not happening. The player does not want to join. It's clear. Are we in the mud about it? Yes. We spent loads of time on it. The hope is that he's not going to go to Chelsea. That's quieting down, so I don't think that one is. He doesn't want to go anywhere. His heels are firmly dug in. They've been dug in for a really long time now. So the idea of, there's 7 days, 8 days left, whatever it is, one final push, no. The pursuit's done. It's over. Now, Casemiro, to me, is not an alternative because he's a different kind of player, but he's a midfielder. And we got that in. And I think it's a good deal for Manchester United. But the De Jong thing's done, Flex.
Over. Finito. Done. Some people can do that. I told you so. Other people can do that. I really thought he was going to come. I'm really upset. The fact is, we're all in the same boat as Man United fans, which is without a player of that quality. We're all in that boat. And it's time. It's time to just move on. It is. I watched him the other day, and I know he had that bad first half, but I'd keep going back to it. Like when they did score and stuff in the second half, when they were really dominant, he was just right in there in the celebrations. They're tapping him, hugging it. Like he's still part of it. It doesn't look, although we might have thought it would, it doesn't look toxic to the point of like he's an outcast.
No,
he ain't playing. He's not even making the matchday squad. He's training with the under-23s. Anything? No, because to be fair to Xavi, he's made it clear. I love the player.
Yeah.
The economic stuff above me is where I'm not in control of it, but I absolutely love him. Yes, I think somebody even said he started because Busquets was suspended. Maybe that's fine, but he's still going to play games.
At every stage where we feel like this could be the key stage, nothing happens.
No.
He's on holiday. Well, once he gets back off holiday, something will happen. He came back from holiday, nothing happened. Well, once pre-season training starts, something will happen. He was in pre-season training. Well, once the tour to America starts, then something. He was on the plane. Well, once they start playing games in La Liga, he played the first game. It's not happening.
No, it's not. And on Laurie Whitwell, someone said he's been wrong about a lot of things on Man United this summer. What I do know is that Laurie Whitwell, again, is what we know. It's not secret that well connected with the club, man. Got good connects.
And also as well, like,
too, so.
I'm sure United still hold out hope that something could happen. You never know, something could happen, but that's what it's been all through the summer, hasn't it? Hope. Princess Leia settings at the end of Rogue One. You won't get the reference, but, you know, that's what she says at the end. Hope. There is none for Frenkie de Jong. Well, there is for him staying at Barca. That's where he wants to be. Possibly that could change in the future, but now, especially with the amount of business we still have to do in the next 8 days, we just can't. I'm not getting back on that ride again.
No, I don't even want to hear it. If something mad happened, I just want to. It's done, but it ain't gonna be.
No,
he's not coming.
No.
So yeah, smash a like on the video, peeps. Subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. We're on 118k now, pushing for that 120,000 subscriber mark, which would be absolutely dope to get in the near future. So big up to all the love and support on the channel. What else we got?
We've got possibly a new goalkeeper. We've got the pursuit of a new goalkeeper. We're caught in a trap. I can't hold out. Yeah? I'm waiting. If we sign him, the Elvis glasses are coming on. I'll slick my hair into Elvis. I might even come in a jumpsuit.
Have you just been fresh off watching the film as well?
We're caught in a trap. I haven't seen the film. We're caught in a trap.
What's wrong with you?
I can't hold out. I haven't had a coffee this morning, that's why. We can go on together. I'm waiting for you to carry on.
Why am I sitting at 9:48 looking at Owen, looking at Owen in a pair of
the look of fear. Can I do the rest of the show
in a pair
like
of
this?
aviators singing Elvis to me and the community? Why is this happening?
Can I do the rest of the show with these on?
You can do the rest of the show with them on.
Okay, the story.
God damn it. And look how it actually looks. Oh, that's a vibe, you know. Yeah. I've never seen you like. You look awkwardly cool in them.
It's just half my face is covered up, which is why I've got the cool.
Oh, he looks ready for a night out. So, would you got out with sunglasses on?
No.
I used to do that when I was like 22.
Really?
Yeah.
I'd take them off now. I feel silly.
Yeah. No. What's going on with Kevin Trapp?
So this comes from reports from Germany and must be said lots of other sources. Manchester United would have to put an offer of 10 million euros on the table in order to be able to change Frankfurt's mind regarding the sale of Kevin Trapp. With a sum of 15 to 20 million, a sale would be conceivable. Now, it must be said, he could not just be a backup to De Gea. This could be a legitimate competitor for him this season. We've heard Erik ten Hag wants a goalkeeper.
Sorry, someone said you look like Scott Storch.
Wants a competitor. This show's just off the rails this morning, isn't it? It's my fault. Yeah, what do you feel about Kevin Trapp? Every time I hear his name.
Kevin Trapp, look, De Gea, I think we were talking this morning and you said it, that there's still a little bit of like he just doesn't look quite comfortable when the ball's at his feet. Yeah. Did well. I think Cam touched on it. Cam was really proud of him. He'll talk about it later in a tactical show, Tactical View, which we have coming up later. I'll plug that in a bit. He did look a little. It was good to see him come out and have a good starting position and clear the ball and stuff like that. But essentially, in other games, we'll still find ourselves back looking at that. It's not going to go away. There'll just be games where it isn't as much as a problem because the team played well. They tried, it masks it a little bit. Bring him in. I've got no reservations about that at all. If Ten Hag sees him as somebody who's able to do it and actually genuinely rival De Gea, I think now Man United fans, in my opinion, it looks like we're in a comfortable place to start discussing what it looks like for the next phase. Not instantly get him out now. No. He's not good enough. But we can see we need to start having a plan for that area.
Yeah. And it doesn't make him a bad keeper. Again, this is what I was saying. You have to be able to split the two. Just because De Gea doesn't fit how Ten Hag wants his goalkeepers to play, it doesn't make him a bad goalkeeper. It just makes it that he isn't the right goalkeeper for Ten Hag. I saw on Monday, we went long quite a lot, But I also still saw times where the centre-backs were there, and it was kind of like, well, do you want to go short? Are you thinking about a short? And the goalkeeper was just like, no. And that's fine for Liverpool, but ultimately that probably isn't exactly how Ten Hag wants to play in his ideal mind.
No.
And I don't know if Kevin Trapp's the answer to that, honestly. I don't. But that conversation is probably going to happen sooner. And also, look, De Gea's got how long left on his deal? 18 months? 2 years?
Exactly.
Not
so
long.
A decision's got to be made.
That conversation is going to become a really big conversation, and it's already started now, really. So Kevin Trapp, a lot of experience. Of course, won Europa League last season, spent years at PSG as well. So he's an option, certainly. And I do think we need... Clearly, we need a backup goalkeeper, but a backup goalkeeper that can rival De Gea, because I think there are going to be points in the season where you actually... It might be worth playing him, you know?
Yeah. No, I agree. I think there has to be forward planning about that. There has to be forward planning in everything that we do now if we're trying to change as a football club, which we're not just going to assume we have, because this window is still what it is. Let's not let the 3 points against Liverpool, because there's a bit of optimism now, disguise the fact of where we are. But if there's going to be a change in the football club and a change in the way the manager has assurances of what players are going to be there, a change in the way that we phase players out and phase players in, it needs to start from now. So if David De Gea has only got 18 months on his contract, start thinking from now. Is your plan, and look, I know Dean Henderson done that thing and it was a bit annoying and stuff, and actually when he called out the club and you see how the club went on to carry on, people were saying, see, at least he's saying it as it is. But I still thought it was a bit disrespectful the way he did it.
It was.
Do you know what I mean? But if they've decided that we just are going to keep hanging on because we do actually want Dean Henderson to be the number one, fine. Then when David De Gea gets to 1 year left, sell him.
Yeah.
Sell him at the end of this summer if you have decided that. Let there be a clear plan, and then you're saying Kevin Trapp's going to be the second keeper. Or if you've decided that Dean Henderson's definitely not going to be the guy, don't bring him back and loan him again. Bring him back or let him stay at Nottingham Forest depending on what they have and sell him. Like, have the plan ready.
Yeah.
Same with Marcus Rashford. Again, a bit different because we have to wait to see how he performs this year, how it goes. A lot of us have said it's this year or nothing, But again, have a plan. Don't be offering new contracts and signing them up on big wages if you're not sure of what you're going to do. So I just think have the plan and the exit strategy is there.
I agree. We're also, by the way, less than 25 likes away from 500.
There you go. You guys know what to do.
We can get to 750, I believe. Still nearly 2K watching. Let's get to a couple of these super chats. Shivam says, Anthony and Hakpo would have landed by now if we had lost. Basically saying that the transfer process might have been sped up. Imagine what the reaction would have been if we had lost, transfer-wise. Maybe. You may be right. Kyra Sando says, hey, Flex and Owen, you replied to my video once to be on the United View. Is that offer still on the table? Was there an offer on the table, Flex?
Yeah. Do you know what? We've been so busy when we was doing that. There's been so much transition here at UVHQ. You guys have literally seen it. It's about just going back and trying to go over the things that we really wanted to put in place. So yeah, definitely the international view as well. That's something that we definitely will be coming back to. As soon as I can catch a break and just get all these things in place. There's so much shows coming. And sleep. And so no, big up. Definitely haven't forgot about you guys.
Ray Diaz says, was Monday the Ed of McFred, finally?
Well, you'd say on a long-term basis, you'd say yes. In terms of them playing together.
But they will play again for Manchester United.
Of course they will.
Together.
Of course they will. At some point.
I think people that might look at it as, well, those two are never going to play together again.
No. It just means that with Casemiro there, he's going to start
in big games.
90% of the games, 80%. Exactly. Ten Hag even tried to split them up in terms of where they played. Let's be fair to Eric Ten Hag. All on pre-season tour, there was no midfield pivot of McFred.
Yeah.
It was one of them sitting.
Fred was quite advanced.
And Fred was quite advanced. And then when we started the season, he tried it with McTominay, didn't work. Dropped him against Brentford, didn't work with Fred there. Sorry, Eriksen was there and didn't work with Fred as an 8. Dropped him, brought McTominay back in yesterday against Liverpool as that guy.
Yeah.
And it worked in that game because everyone was at it. So it just shows. And people were giving McTominay stick against Liverpool because, on the ball, a couple of times it was McTominay. It was McTominay settings. But the other bits, he did the bits that he is good at.
Yeah.
Which is winning the ball back, being aggressive, using his height. Played a great ball through to Bruno that actually sets up Elanga's chance. That was the only solid pass he did there. But other than that, he did what he was put in there to do, which is that's all. I'm not being rude, but that's what he should stick to.
Yeah, keep it simple.
The problem that we've had with Scott McTominay, isn't just necessarily that he isn't good enough to play for Man United, because we know that, I get that. He isn't good enough to do the job for Man United that we were asking him to do. Do you know what I mean? Which is be a progressive 8, be a perfect 6 in front of screen the back 4 when not everybody's at it and stuff like that. He's a limited player, Scott McTominay, but he has his attributes. And if we use them attributes and use them not that much, you can get that out of him.
Bice says, if CR7 wasn't out here twerking, he would be cap. What does that mean?
Like, where is that? Where does it say that? Where does it say that?
Bice.
Where?
Scroll up. There you go. There.
I think they mean he would be crap, but if he's cap, that means like capping means you're lying.
Right.
So like that's cap. So like you say like, you know, I don't know, you actually really like KG and think he's a good guy. Oh, and stop capping.
Come on, let's not spread rumours.
No, I'm just using that as an example. An example's not real.
Playing into the narrative. Me and KG are friends. We are friends.
You're acquaintances.
Yeah.
Not friends.
We are friends.
You're colleagues.
To be fair, he hasn't been in touch since he's been on holiday.
That's what I'm saying. That's good though, because he's taking time out.
Good.
But yeah.
All Elite says, putting back Maguire and or CR7 would unsettle the fantastic mentality from Monday. Only Elanga and McTominay to be rotated. The others must stay. Glory, glory, United view. Sabarinth with the contribution. Appreciate the contribution. Lil Yo-Yo says, Owen with the shades look like... Who is that, Scott?
Scott Storch is a really famous hip-hop. Yeah, that's a good shout, isn't it, Josh? You do look like Scott Storch. Scott Storch is a famous producer. Produced a lot. He's produced for Fat Joe. He's produced for Dr. Dre. He's produced for The Game.
Look at him.
Yeah, he's a legend, mate. He's a legend. Look at his discography.
Look how big his glasses are.
Yeah, that's what you just looked like a second ago.
Look how big his glasses are.
Yeah, go and put them on. That's
They're like Elton John glasses, man.
Yeah, Elton John / Elvis. That's what they are. Look, that's what they are. Scott Storch. Go on. That's what I mean. Because it's without all the biker jacket. It's just like hip hop. It's just Scott Storch.
These are not as big as those.
Yeah, but it's along the lines of. I mean, Scott Storch, legendary guy, you know. Legendary guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100% Scott Storch settings. Brilliant.
Well, I'm wearing it every time I talk about Kevin Trapp.
Yeah. And the last one there says Anthony 29093 says I want GoPro views of Maguire defending. Get Ben Foster. He is free and will provide entertainment on YouTube. Listen, we don't need another social media circus.
Yeah.
Big up to Ben Foster in his career, but I don't want that at Man United. Just quickly, I need to plug a couple shows. We've got the Tactical View coming up later on today, this afternoon, so make sure you guys tune into that. And also, as you can see, that's in the pinned chat, nominate us in this year's Football Content Awards.
Yeah, for this.
It's nominate
Someone
us.
said CSI Miami settings, that's why I put it on. Have you ever seen that?
I don't watch that, but
I guess we are caught in a trap.
Nominate us for Owen just doing Owen things. Like, he's on one this morning. Like, he needs the coffee ASAP. In fact, as soon as I come off this, I'm personally going to walk and get him a black coffee because he's bouncing off the walls a bit at the moment. He needs his morning coffee. But nominate us on the Football Content Awards. There's plenty of different categories that you could nominate us in or on if you would like to. Click the link in the video description below, or if you're watching live now, you can click it in the top of the chat. There
are links to the individual posts that you can nominate us for.
There you go.
On Instagram, you just drop a comment, tag us at United View TV for the individual categories as well.
Do it for all of them. Why not? Do you know what I mean? Do it for all of them. I think a year ago, over a year ago now, at the Football Content Awards, I went to it, and United View wasn't even a thing. It was insane. It was I was nominated for an award as a personal, but I remember saying had the United View only been going like a week or something like that. Basically, you wasn't even here yet at that point. I don't even think KG was here yet. KG came to the awards with me, and at that point we knew that he would be coming on, but I don't think it was a thing yet. So yeah, it'd be amazing to see, just us nominated for an award. I'd be really proud. Yeah. So yeah. Get doing that if you'd like to. Smash a like on the video, guys, and we will see you all again very, very soon. Later on today, actually, with Cam. You lot have all been waiting for that. It's going to be so refreshing to do a tactical view with Cam on a game that we've won, especially because we stood right here saying how much we were going to be dreading that tactical view. Yeah. And now we're not.
What went right?
How did we smash them, Cam? Why were we so good? I can't wait. Anyway, take care. Peace.